everyone, and welcome back. Happy New Year. We are finally here for the next One Piece review and discussion, the first of 2024. So, next chapter as officially, leaked, but officially releases on Sunday. But we have the chapter now, and we are just getting straight into it. Oda is not holding back. We are back in present day, back on Egghead, and things are getting turned up to 11. There is just no stopping what is happening now. And we are in the anime just about heading, pretty much just started Egghead. Actually, we've just had the first, 2 episodes of Egghead. So the anime's at the start of this arc. We could be wrapping up. This could go so many different ways now, but it looks like we're in the next 10 chapters or so. Things are developing. So, without further ado, chapter 1104. Thank you, Dad. So again, continue with the theme of Bonney and Kuma's relation and connection, and these just range of emotions that poor Bonney, a 12-year-old girl, is having to go through at this time. But we're starting our cover stories off nicely. We've got a mouse proposal, lovely little romantic couple having a meal, and Sanji is the one to deliver dessert, and it looks like a tiered cake of cheese, all with candles. He's kneeling down to give it to them while the proposal is happening. So pretty cute. But last we left off, Kuma had arrived on the island, just barged through every marine there was. I'm pretty certain not a single marine was left that didn't see Kuma make his way, land on the island, and rush towards the centre. Now, they were under orders that they couldn't follow him. They just started unloading all they could, but their strict orders were no one is allowed to be at the centre of the island right now for reasons. And Kuma reached there to just in time save Bonney from Saturn. Now, he took that leg in his back, he pulls it out, and where we are now is Kuma's wind up. Kuma's absolute haymaker of a punch going straight for Saturn. And that's where we are. We are in the build up. He is just about to connect, and we're having a flashback. Kuma is a child at God Valley having a conversation with Saturn, and he's like, look, you're this buccaneer brat everyone's on about. You know, you either live as a slave or you die. You know, you are nothing. You know, we can't even tolerate someone of your ilk, someone of your kind. And that brief interaction alone, these two have been locked since here. Saturn has been pulling the strings of everything. Now, we don't get much from that scene, but how did Kuma get away from him? Did Roger intervene? Did Rox? I mean, this is probably in the moments after of when he's eaten the paw fruit. So Big Mom charges in, steals Kaido's fruit from Ivankov. Kuma demolishes his fruit, and now amongst the flames of God Valley, Saturn is lording over Kuma as a child. But we know miraculously he escapes like it was nothing. Just another day. But we then get the heartbreaker moment of when he learns about his mother dying, when his dad's in tears, when he is escaped with Ginny and Ginny's excited and happy. when Ginny passes away and he hears her final words, when he looks after Bonney for the first time as a child, and in that moment he's probably refreshing it all because Bonney herself is sat beneath him in tears, a child crying, and he is furious. And in this moment where Kuma is winding up a punch, Saturn is just like, what is the meaning of this Vegapunk? Like, how is this man still alive? I made use of that contingency plan that we put in place. A few days ago, when the Revolutionary Army took him back, I triggered his self-destruct mechanism. And like, everyone's like, what did you say? But it is too late. I cannot express how satisfying this double page spread is. I'm going to have to put it up on screen because I don't think my description could do it justice. The build up to this moment alone is huge. And the repercussions and everything surrounding this one moment to be summed up in this panel. Kuma landing a punch on Saturn for the first time in his life, almost being controlled by Saturn pretty much from the get-go, if not when he was the tyrant that they gave him that name. Saturn has been pulling the strings, and this is Kuma finally getting payback, revenge, justice, protecting his daughter. This is everything. And he does not hold back. And Kuma sends Saturn flying. Not just into the ground, but off into all the buildings. And there is just destruction. And Saturn is already bloodied. Like, this man is on the floor, done. Everyone is watching. Everyone is like, what is happening? Why is the town being just annihilated? Is that what Kuma's doing? And the people who are here, the ones high enough rank to witness what has just happened, are still in shock that Kuma, a man who was a slave to the Celestial Dragons, a man who is, they know, a cyborg, who was programmed to follow orders, because these people are probably a high enough rank to know about Kuma and what he is, that he has just punched one of the 5 elders. One of the Gorosei. The first attack on a Gorosei won't be the last. Certainly not. This is just getting started now, this war. And Kuma's just done it. And everyone is like, we need to go and help Saturn. We need to go make sure he's okay. Move the rubble. I can't believe that a slave has just done this. It is unprecedented. And Kuma's still standing. He's only down on one knee. Like, this man is just a walking tank. And he hasn't even fell to 2 knees. 1 knee and he's still standing. And Vegapunk and the others now can move. They're like, we can move our bodies again. So, something happening there with Kuma either forcing Saturn away or breaking Saturn's concentration in some way stopped whatever was holding everyone back. And now they can move. And they know immediately, look, we gotta get out of here. There's no chance. Our only hope is to get Bonney to the upper levels. She's a child. So they're all... It doesn't come as a shock to Sanji and Frankie. We knew Vegapunk knew. And probably Atlas does as well, as being a Vegapunk herself. But Frankie and Sanji seem to be fully aware and not fazed by a little girl, Bonney, in front of them. So I think at some point in this evening that they had, when Vegapunk came to the room when Bonney came out as a child, pretty much when they met back up, Bonney probably stayed a child and explained everything, or Vegapunk did, because they don't seem phased. They actually want to save Bonney in this situation. And while they're all rushing together to regroup, Vegapunk is thinking. It's like overtime thinking. Like, he is running through ideas after ideas, and he's like, I can't grasp what I'm witnessing. You know, the truth is, he even admits, he can't bring himself to say it out loud, but he didn't install a traditional self-destruct mechanism, which, obvious. We knew he was against it. He said, I couldn't bear the idea of turning you into a bomb. Knowing what those bastards would take from you and use you as an advantage for, you know, I couldn't do it. So instead he built a different failsafe. And he said the failsafe was, when it was activated, your body would just shut down. You go offline, you would be done. And Saturn owned up just before to activating that device. And Vegapunk is astonished. Between losing his individuality and that failsafe kicking off, he is saying, look, you're incapable of receiving orders. You should be nothing right now, nothing but a vegetable. But even accounting for Bonney, you shouldn't have been able to reach us here. How are you still moving? It's beyond science at this point. He can't grasp it. And then he realises something. He finally connects the dot. The Buccaneers were said to have a special characteristic beyond their strong bodies, and after all, your people want. God, Oda. So we're getting confirmation of a special characteristics of the Buccaneers, similar to the Lunarians we got. We got a full detailed description when we were talking about King and getting his backstory and the reveal of this angelic race. Almost indestructible, or pretty much indestructible when their fire was active. Their hardy bodies, what they were capable of. Buccaneers, as well as having a strong body, also have a trait, some characteristic within their genetics that breaks science in some capacity, because the failsafe activated, which was when Kuma was sat on the floor. That moment where he awoke and rushed off, that was when Saturn activated it. He lost his individuality years ago at this point, 2 years ago. Just a bit more, maybe. The realm of science now does not apply to Kuma. There is no logic that can be mapped to this. This is beyond that. And we see Kizaru and Sentomaru's just like separate reactions, like, is this it? This is over? Like, what's Kuma done? And we get some Marines arguing, saying, look, where's Straw Hat gone? He just disappeared right in front of us. Like, this is going to be a catastrophic failure if we can't apprehend him. If we call it in now, like, we're done. So everyone is accounted for currently that is either fighting potentially, or the ones currently at the scene are regrouping. Sanji, Frankie, the Vegapunks, Bonney, Kuma. Kizaru's just sort of watching on. But Luffy has gone missing. No sign. And this is the only bit of this chapter where we get reference to Luffy and what's happened. We know He was asking for food, and then it magically appeared instantaneously, a massive amount of food. And now all of a sudden he's just vanished. Gone. Nowhere to be found. Who is currently assisting Luffy in this situation, or how is Luffy doing this? Is really going to be interesting to see. There was rumours as well of Caribou is still on the island because he was in the barrel. He's getting round, but I think he'd be too afraid to approach this closely, seeing as Saturn is like literally there in that form. Especially Kizaru now is here as well. Caribou is too careful and too like in the shadows and skulking round. He wouldn't risk getting that close just for Luffy's sake. Something's at work. Something is saving Luffy, getting him his strength back to go into Nika, go into Gear 5 to be able to help the Straw Hats escape and the Vegapunks escape. But we get the moment that this entire backstory arc has been building to. After years, we finally get Bonney talking with Kuma for the first time since she was a child. And she thanks him. She saw his memories. She saw everything. What an amazing woman her mother was, you know, that he wrote all those letters. And she says, look, I don't care if they call you a tyrant. I know you are the kindest man in the world and the coolest person, and I will never forget that. And Kuma's on his knees now, but just embracing Bonney, looking off in the distance. A really tender moment between the two of them before Saturn rocks back up with some notable differences. This man in this imposing spider flamed figure with his staff, with only one arm, one horn, and just blood all through his beard now. He is shaking. He is done. And he is furious. He is like, I demand an explanation now, Vegapunk. Was this your doing? And he's like, ultimately, I'm probably responsible. That'd be fair to say, I guess. But would it not just be romantic enough to say it was the power of love? So, again, maybe that's a hint at this characteristic. But we do see that Saturn not having an arm doesn't matter, because during this conversation his arm begins to regenerate back, and he's like, because of this oversight, you know, you have outlived your usefulness now, you know, it's so short-sighted. And Sanji is like, hold up, this man is regenerating his body. Now, we've seen some instances of that. Obviously we have the thing with Luffy, like, whole cake was what came to mind, and like he drinks milk and he's fine again, like his teeth are repaired. But the flames genuinely repair Saturn's entire arm. This is going to be a much more difficult fight than they initially thought, maybe. But Saturn's not done. He goes to strike Akuma again, but Sanji can move now, and he is not going to let him upset Bonney anymore, and kicks Saturn's leg out the way. First Straw Hat to attack Arasai. Followed up by our main man Frankie saying that as well. They owe Kuma a huge debt for protecting the Sunny, obviously, and fires a radical beam through Saturn's chest. And Kizaru's just like watching, like, my goodness, how fast you have grown. Like, how much you have grown. Like, he wants to put it to the test. Kizaru jumps up and sends Frankie flying to the ground. Just annihilates him. And while the wound in Saturn's chest heals, they say, look, Kuma can't move. He's in there now. He's done. Atlas picks him up and is like, we just got to go. We've got to go up to the lab. Leave it to me. They all rush off. And Kizaru is stood now next to St. J. Garcia Saturn. And he's saying, look, Kuma now joining us on this island. Wouldn't you agree? There's too many players on the board. And Saturn's like, you're right. It's about time we probably wrap this up. Vegapunk still stood there, saying, wow, you're a sad man, Kizaru. You know, do you not have a heart? And Kizaru, the cool dude he is like, damn, taking this long, I should have brought darker glasses. I'm starting to embarrass myself. But the last scene of the chapter is the call. The Buster Call has been authorised by the authority of the world government. All ships are to take aim and reduce everything to dust in the name of justice. And we have to have a final speech from Saturn himself to say, you know, a traitor who studied this taboo of the secrets of the world, a survivor of a bloodline that should be extinct, and a pirate who awakened to the power of an ancient god. This island has become completely infested. And that is the end of the chapter. We are not on break next week, so we get to carry on and see what everyone else is doing. You know, we don't know where Luffy's gone. There's all the Straw Hats are trying to make it to the Sunny at the minute. We've got Zoro was holding off Lucci. You know, what is like... Yeah, are the Blackbeard pirates here? Are they hiding still? A lot of unanswered questions. But this has got to just be a very quick roundup of chapters now of how the Straw Hats are going to escape. Because a Buster Call has been authorised. They have got mere minutes, if not like seconds, before the island's going to start getting just annihilated. Anyway, we can theorise all we want, but Oda's the man with the plan. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the chapter. Let me know what you think is going to happen. I will see you guys next time.